This morning we celebrate the memorial of Saint Gregory the Great, the 7th century saint and Pope of the Church. He was known as a liturgical reformer, and in particular, he had a devotion to liturgical music and chant. He's one of the doctors of the Church. Servus Servum Dei. He called himself the patron saint of music. When we think of the saints, I think a lot of us can sometimes compare ourselves to the great saints. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be like the saints, but we aren't called to be copies. We aren't called to be exactly the same as the others. And a lot of us find the saints to be fairly daunting. You know, we read about the extraordinary things they did. I mean, St. Gregory is known not just as St. Gregory, he's known as St. Gregory the Great. How am I going to be great? How can I be that? Well, I can be through Jesus Christ. Each of us are called to be saints. We are called to live in the community of saints one day, we pray, in heaven. But each of us are called to be authentically who God calls each of us to be. Not to be someone else, not to copy the other saints for the sake of it, but to truly become saints in our own right, following God's will for ourselves. I've always had a great love of reading about the saints, and in a particular way, I love teaching people about the saints, especially children, teaching them that not only are there saints in heaven praying for us, interceding for us, but that one day, too, we are to join them, that we are called to be part of that great multitude. It's not just a cliche, it's not just something we say for fun, it's truly what we believe, that each and every one of us are called to be with St. Gregory and the saints. Now, I guess I will have to go by St. Matt, because St. Matthew has been taken, but I think that when we think of our names in lights, in a sense, in the beatific vision with God, it's not ever about ourselves. It's about glorifying Him. And what do the saints do? They don't glorify themselves. They glorify God in every one of their actions. And the saints weren't always perfect. Of course, we read about the saints, some of the greatest. They weren't perfect. They were perfected by God in heaven, but they struggled through this particular journey of life, and they always kept their gaze on God, knowing that He was calling them to greatness, as St. Gregory was called, and so too we are. So as we celebrate these sacred mysteries, as we live our lives as faithful witnesses to the truth of Jesus Christ, may we all become His saints, so that one day we too shall be interceding for those who remain.